Welcome to the Bridge of Two podcast. Welcome back to the Bridge of Two podcast,
Welcome,
everyone.
everybody. Whoa.
We've got Caleb here.
Hello.
Again.
Whoa.
I think at this point you're kind of
An unofficial
host. Like you're kind of staking out
host.
your position as
You're
the go-to.
He's a ghost.
Okay.
A guest host.
A ghost blood.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah. So we wanted to talk about the Cosmere, Brandon Sanderson's connected universe of books, and we want to check in on the Cosmere. And so we thought Caleb would be a good person to help us do that because he's read them all and knows it well and thinks about it. And
Loses sleep over
he has
us.
a shrine, and so.
Well, if you call books a shrine, then yes, but
I do.
We did go to Assault Palace to go
this is
see
true, yeah,
the release for the book. It was called the Assault Palace where we were at.
the convention center.
Yeah. It's
The Cosmere is kind of
like
like
a
a new
temple.
religion, guys.
I mean,
Well,
Brandon Sanderson's
based in
Mormon.
Mormonism,
So he's probably holding out that he's going to be able to put some of this to use in the future.
He made a very depressing world to roll over.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's concerning. Anyway. Anywho.
But before that,
we have our beloved segment
it's my favorite segment, personally.
where we just shoot from the hip.
Josh,
What?
what you been up to, man? It's been like 2.5 weeks. We had to
been a long
postpone this.
time.
We had to postpone this episode.
Yeah, I went on a trip, and this is the first time, so I'm gonna turn this thing around fast for Monday.
Oh,
So,
yes, that's right.
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But it'll be fine. Because I know that we're gonna be so smooth. There's gonna be nothing to edit out.
We've already
yeah,
nailed
quite
it.
There's gonna be no breaks or pauses or
We already haven't had any of those.
or overly inappropriate jokes. Although now that I've said that, you're gonna be looking for the opportunity.
I already had like 6 passed through
Okay,
my mind.
good.
I won't look for the opportunity, but it may happen.
Okay.
I won't look for it, but I'll take it if it arises. Not. Are you telling me you edit out all my inappropriate jokes?
Not all of them.
I should really listen to the episodes.
You should see if you like the product.
Gosh, this show sucks.
Just quit immediately.
I don't know. I don't listen to the ones that I'm on because I don't like listening to my own voice.
That's why I don't listen to them.
Yeah.
We'll stop having you on so you can. Because if we can't lose our listeners here by having them on the podcast.
I brought on my mother and 2 of my sisters listen to it now. So
Oh, good!
Oh,
Shout
fun.
out,
Awesome.
It's Caleb's family. Thank you. We'll gladly take your downloads.
Yes, we will. And hopefully you enjoy it.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully you feel like you're getting something out of it. Anyway, so I have been up to writing. I don't know if I need to say that every time, but
You should.
it's a lot of my time.
That's fair.
every time could be the first time somebody's listened, so they might
That's true.
now find out you're a writer.
How you've been continuing to write the Mithril story?
Yes, I was going to. I think I probably mentioned it. I may have mentioned it on the podcast. I was going to try and hurry up, finish the season because there was a contest. There is a contest. It's taking submissions till the endish of April, for a 8,000 word short story, and I was going to try to do that, but I, for one thing, don't want to produce something, really subpar because I'm putting all this pressure on myself as far as Mithril goes. And then also while writing for Mithril, I was rereading a chapter basically one of the last chapters I wrote on my book that I was working on for a long time. And which was a very climactic point of the book that I was reading. And I was enjoying it so much that I was like, I need to stop. I need to not like finish Mithril and then go write something completely original. I need to get back to this and finish editing it and start trying to, get it published, because I really like the core of it, and I think it's a lot of it's really good. So anyway,
how far into your Mithril story are you? Like
I'm very close to being done with the season.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
a handful of episodes. I kind of, the way I write it, like if I'm not far ahead with my writing, then I don't have time to like let things sit and then like decide to completely go in a different direction or whatever. So because Mithril, I'm releasing 2 episodes a week, and it's starting to get caught up to me. It is caught up to me, actually, pretty much at this point. It's
2 episodes
like
a week is a lot.
I basically am like, this is what we're doing, and I'm just going with it. And so I went with the characters got into this, going in this direction, and it got going in a very climactic direction. And so I'm gonna need to. There's another set of characters that I haven't done a whole lot of viewpoints with, but I need to come back to them and do maybe like an episode just to leave you knowing where they're at going into the next season. But it's probably going to end with these characters that I'm writing in the next 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, nice.
So, which is like 4,000 words is not much, because the episodes are like 1,000 words an episode. But yeah, it's been very intense, like what I've been writing. So
I'm excited. I need to get caught up on it.
Same.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to hear both your thoughts on it, especially with what's happening here, what I'm currently writing, because it's pretty
Heavy.
It's pretty heavy, yeah.
I'm excited then.
So hopefully that comes across, but
yeah,
I'm hoping that everybody is like gasping and like crying and weeping and cursing my name.
If it'll make me cry, then I definitely want to read it. I'm in a mood to read something depressing.
Well, get going, because you'll get there.
Perfect.
But yeah. But anyway,
I'm excited for you to start back on your book too, because
yeah, me too.
I obviously very want to read that.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird how I've been working on that book for so long, and I'll start to think I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be, everybody that writes their first book they write, usually like they finish it and they're like, okay, well that was horrible, or they try to get it edited, maybe try to get it published, and then later on they're like, well, obviously I understand why that didn't get published. But I just keep going back to it, keep like doing more drafts and stuff, and I feel like it really wants to be out there.
Yeah,
at
least to my eyes.
It could be Way of Kings Prime, like it could be, which that's like very. I don't mean like what it's going to lead to is
very very optimistic.
Yeah, I just mean that it could be a book that
spawns another one.
Yeah, that I finish and that I like a lot of it, but I know that it's not really there, and then I come back to it later, redo it better. But I feel like it's going to be something that is out there at some point, because it means a lot to me. So, but yeah, so that's my writing check-in.
This has been Josh's writing corner.
I don't know if anyone that is writing on Mithril listens to this, but shout out to all of you Mithril writers, because that's one really cool thing about this experience with Mithril, is there's a community of writers that's formed there that are supportive of each other, tell each other about other opportunities, and try to share each other's stuff and stuff, and that's really been helpful, enjoyable, and
we should
y'all should come onto the Discord.
I think I'm on that Discord.
There you are.
I think you invited
Yeah,
me.
I joined.
Okay.
I haven't looked in a while. I ignore most of the Discord channels I'm in
There's
Same.
probably a lot.
because there's just like, here's a giveaway. Join this Discord.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I should probably just leave, but yeah.
We should start doing episodes on different mithril stories. Read the first few episodes and then give like our first initial thoughts.
We could definitely do that, and then even like have the authors on, because they would. I know that they would be more than happy to come on.
I think it might be fun to start doing stuff like that. Like read the first few episodes, do like an initial impressions of a story.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
Cool.
Other than writing, what else have you been up to?
Been playing Hogwarts Legacy.
It's a goodie.
And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
You said you were 40% way through? Is that through like total completion or through the story?
Total completion.
Okay.
I feel like I've been doing I keep getting to story missions and generally other missions that I haven't done yet, and I'm way like over the level a lot of times. So I think because I've been doing a lot of the side stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed exploring Hogwarts.
Yeah. Yes.
Like figuring the puzzles out, going in like there's like a hidden herbology corridor. There's some you'll just find just random puzzles in different parts of the castle. There's like this whole puzzle system in the clock tower part of it. It's really interesting. And was fun to do. And then there's these like Depulso. Have you all gotten the spell Depulso yet? It's like the push one.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you all done any of the Depulso chambers? There's Depulso puzzle chambers where it's like
I saw some where that's what I saw some before I got the spell, and guessed that like I would need to push something to get into it.
Yes, yeah.
Didn't actually
So
do anything
so
yet.
there's those, and then there's just other things, and then there's like all the side missions that are like just little random stories that are actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Have y'all done anything? Have y'all gotten to the stuff with Sebastian Sallow, where you have to you're looking for something hidden in Hogwarts?
Okay. I did the dueling ones with him initially, and then I think that started after that.
I got that
side
one
missions.
spell that he gives you get to that secret room and you get that spell. That's the last mission I did with him.
So his side missions are very interesting. Like he's a very interesting character. Like the storyline with him is very interesting. And I'm not going to spoil any of it for you guys because it's like straight up, you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
I think my next mission with him, which is actually the next mission I'm doing when I play.
It was so heavy.
Going to see his sister, I think.
Okay. That's the track. You're on the track. Keep going on the track.
Okay.
I was like, the kids were out front playing when I got to this one part, and I was like, I'm really glad the kids are outside right now.
Oh, wow.
It was just really heavy. It was like way heavier than I would have wanted them to have to. I would have been like, okay, session over if they were coming inside because not because it wasn't dirty or anything. It was just heavy theme,
Yeah, more than you would want to explain to them right then.
Yeah. So, anyway,
this is what happened when your family dies.
That we need to talk about that game like when we finish it because there's enough in that game to talk about. The storylines, the characters, the mechanics, and everything. I love the loot so much. I mean, I like loot in games. I always have, but they have the way, and I don't know if you guys have to help me if other games do this, but the way you can you can wear anything for the actual like stat bonus, but then you can change the appearance to anything you've ever picked up.
I think
that is like revolutionary.
There's an aspect of it in certain games. Like there's
a lot of games that will let you do that, but you have to grind for the materials to do it. Yeah, you have to.
Right.
This is the first game that just lets you do it.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is fun. It's cool, but also part of me likes the fun of finding equipment with good stats that also looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take away. Yeah, it does take away from that, but it does.
That being said, I like the whole ability to just dress however I want because I've already changed my.
I will change my clothes based off what I'm doing. Like I'm doing herbology, and so I'm going to wear this like herbology robe I've got.
So you're not just wearing all the
I'm wearing like this weird
darkest emo stuff.
I'm wearing like the weird tippy like top hat that's like ragged when I'm out there. Like
I totally was wearing like the Death Eater cloak and like wearing like the darkest clothes, but like I'm playing my guy very good just because that's just how I always play my initial playthroughs as a good guy, and so he's like looks like this evil emo guy, but then he's just like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why that's the one
just
thing
the most wholesome cinnamon bun.
There's no explanation for that, but like, you are the only student who doesn't have to follow the dress code of the school,
and so I love it.
There's a few things like that too where it's like, you know,
like everybody else's
main character,
neat school uniforms,
armor.
Just walking around normally, and you're just like,
and nobody questions
spells
it
everywhere in the school.
Have you guys actually found? I watched a YouTube video of someone he was doing Avada Kedavra in front of all the teachers. And like, it's like all the reactions, the way the teachers react. It's way too. Their reactions are way too tame. Like
it's an unforgivable curse.
It's like the potions master is like, you know,
you shouldn't do
don't
that.
you ever do that. I better never see you do that again. So he was like the most intense. But then after that, it was like,
no,
we don't do those kinds of spells here. You know, and it's like, if anything was in the path of him, they would have died.
This spell literally kills.
It's like, why is he not being put in jail
I'm
right
assuming
now?
you can't use it on students in school.
You know what is?
Yeah, I'm assuming too, but I'm not going to test that theory.
I'll test it when I get there.
I've seen so many.
When you get there, you're gonna learn it.
Probably.
Oh man, Caleb.
I love all
the next to you was not.
Well, I can't do 100% completion if I don't learn it.
That's true.
They better not do that to me.
Even Harry Potter learns it, right?
Like, what do you learn? You learn a word or two words and emotion. It's not
abracadabra. No, there's a bunch of memes on Instagram of like people using Avada Kedavra, but it is unexplained. But they have their game modded where their wand is a gun instead, and so they're like Avada Kedavra, and then they're like bang.
Like
the first spell. One of the first YouTube videos you linked to us in the chat where it's just like in GTA.
Oh yeah,
around in the broom.
Someone at work was calling
motorcycle that was shaped or
that was awesome.
Someone
like
at
a broom.
Someone at work was calling it.
Harry Potter GTA.
Yeah, I was calling it like Grand Theft Hogwarts or whatever.
Grand Theft Hogwarts.
Yeah, so that's a fun game. Side note, my son. My 4-year-old son knows the killing curse. Like my kids will pick up like little paint brushes and put colored pencils and be like, the blue one is the Ravenclaw wand and stuff. And they're doing spells at each other. Even my 1-year-old is like, like does that video. He has that whole thing down. He's actually he'll do that to me and then push me over. But I've when I heard Jack say the unforgivable curse, but he says abracadabra. But I knew when I realized what he was doing, I was like, no, you're not doing that. And he's like, why? Why can't I do it? It's like, because it's unforgivable in the story.
I can't forgive you now, son.
So you're not going to be allowed to do it.
You got to roleplay.
Well, it's just like that's what wizard criminals do.
Maybe he wants to be a wizard criminal.
Oh.
You gotta keep an eye on that one. Your job as a parent should encourage him to do whatever he wants to do, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
No. If he wants to kill people with spells, he can kill people with spells.
That's the loving thing to do.
Well, I mean, if he can figure out how to do spells in the first place, then he's already going places.
Should let him do what he wants.
I mean, if he actually
what are you going to do?
If he actually knew that spell, I would say nothing. I would just be very, very, very quiet.
Yes, son, you can have whatever you want.
But anyway, the last thing I'll mention, unless I'm forgetting something, is my wife and I are watching The Mandalorian together.
No spoilers, I haven't watched it yet.
No. Not season 3, season 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because she somehow I roped her into watching season 2 with me when I was watching it, and she liked it, but she wasn't ready to go back and start over. Like, she wasn't like, let's go right back to season 1 and start after that. After we finish season 2, and so now that season 3 is coming out or is out, or starting to come out.
There's one episode out right now, I think.
There's two.
Maybe two. There's two.
So we're...
I don't know the day that comes out. I watched the first one on Sunday.
Is it Fridays?
Maybe. If it's Fridays, then there's the second one, but yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, so...
I haven't watched any of season 3 either, because we're going to try to watch through season 1 and season 2. We're like halfway through season 1, so we'll get... So by the time we get done with season 2, then we should be able to binge
season 3.
Season 3. And I'm really looking forward to it. Looks good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to watch 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they sandwiched very important character moments into Book of Boba Fett.
It's the only reason they could get people to watch it.
I don't know.
It would have. It could have been a good show. I mean,
a lot of things could have been good.
Shut up. I'm salty. Well,
okay, that's me. One down.
Caleb, what you been up to?
Our
ghost.
I watched the first episode of the new season of Mandalorian, which...
No spoilers.
What, do you like it?
Assuming you've seen season 2, this isn't a spoiler, but like they had to write off Cara Dune in like a one line, just, hey, she's not in the picture anymore.
Oh, wonderful. That's a great way to do it.
There's no good way to do it.
At least she didn't die. Just didn't kill her off.
It's like, she's not available.
She died in between seasons.
Yeah, it's interesting so far. It's not really much to tell from one episode of a season.
Yeah.
Also watching through the Last of Us show.
Okay. I've heard that's really good.
It is really good. There were a couple episodes that, like, they don't feed into the overall story of the show, so I don't really know what the point is, but...
Filler.
Yeah,
filler episodes,
the bane of my existence.
How many? Do you know how long the season is supposed to be?
I don't know how long it's supposed to be. I think there are either 7 or 8 episodes out right now.
Okay.
Like episode, I think it's 3 and 5, either 5 or 6. Like they don't feed into the overall story.
So are you saying if you skip them?
3 you can skip, other than knowing that like the one thing you get out of it is that the main characters find a truck. That's it. That they crash in the beginning of the next episode.
Spoilers.
And then 5.
Which one is Ron Swanson in?
3.
Okay.
Like if you want to watch it just for Ron Swanson, go ahead.
I just heard he was really good.
But the characters that introduced in that episode die in that episode.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Are you caught up?
Yeah.
I am not. Steph and I are still... We actually have to watch season 3 next. Or episode 3 next.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've been watching... I've been letting her
watch Game of Thrones. It's not a... It's a self-contained story, so it's not a bad episode. It just doesn't feed into the overall story of the series. Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing through Wild Hearts with my brothers, which is just...
Okay.
How is that?
If you have a good enough computer, it's fine.
Wow, so then don't get
It's a Monster Hunter knockoff. That was why I upgraded my computer.
Oh, okay.
Because when I had my old CPU and motherboard and RAM, it would run at like 5 FPS sometimes.
Whoa.
It's like barely playable if you're really determined. But after I upgraded, then it's fine.
Okay.
I haven't had any issues since then with frame rates or anything. It's usually like 60-ish.
How wild is your heart, Caleb?
Sometimes pretty wild, but usually no.
Does that come into play in the game?
No, it's just Monster Hunter, but different weapons.
Oh.
Monster Hunter's fun.
Wild Hearts.
Monster Hunter is good.
That just came out, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's been out for a couple weeks. It was one of the first like games that
I heard it's really good.
Everywhere was $70, which was kind of like,
oh wow.
I think that's going to be
it's game standard. It's going to be standard.
Moving to is that games are going to be $70 each
because of inflation.
The new Legend of Zelda is going to be $70 too.
Probably. Well, I was debating getting like whatever new Legend of Zelda version of the Switch they come out with then, because mine's old at this point anyway.
Yeah, so is ours, but we're poor.
No, I'm gonna have to do it. Mine's old too.
How is the gameplay compared to Monster Hunter?
The gameplay,
yeah, that's a good question because I don't really. Like
I never played Rise, which is where they added grapple into Monster Hunter, so I don't know like compared to that. But I played World a good amount, and it's fun. There's less. There are fewer. The world feels less populated. Like aren't as many like smaller monsters running around. There are still some that get annoying in the middle of a fight where they'll just bop you once and knock you out of animation where you're about to hit the monster you're trying to kill. And then there's less like foliage, but I think I also have that setting turned down just because of graphics.
I'm just curious. I've played World quite a bit, and it's fun, but the gameplay kind of gets me a little bit. Especially when when I was playing World, I was in like a Monster Hunter kick kind of, and I started playing like Dauntless game, which is like basically a Monster Hunter MMO almost.
Yeah,
the gameplay was just a lot smoother in that for me, in particular for my tastes.
Yeah,
and so I had a hard time going back to Monster Hunter World. I like the crafting in it though, so I just like I like picking up materials and crafting things.
Yeah, it's similar in that like you can also set up the one part that's different is you can set up like zip lines around the map to get places faster.
That's cool.
So you're not stuck going to the same camp and then just running.
That's cool. At least.
Yeah, that part's kind of fun.
Running sucks.
I think running's alright.
Well, okay.
Running's fine. It's just when you always are running to the same place every time.
Right.
Running in video games is not as fun.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, well, don't get me started on real running. Anyway. Anything else?
Other than that, I was playing Destiny a lot through the end of the last season and then into the new expansion just dropped last week.
I want to play more Destiny.
It's a lot of fun, especially the new subclass, but you have to buy the expansion for the new subclass, so...
Yeah.
I might wait for the expansion to like go on sale.
Maybe, yeah.
I did see some stuff was on... They were having some stuff on sale.
Well, they had everything on sale. They had like... The Witch Queen on sale for like $10.
For the new expansion is on sale.
Yeah, they had it on like sale for like $10. The Witch Queen.
Yeah, I almost bought something that I didn't because I'm not playing it right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I played through the entire new campaign on Legendary by myself, which was frustrating at times, but also a lot of fun. Like it gets really difficult because with the new subclass, you can grapple around, and then some points in the story, if you fall off the edge, you have to restart the entire area where you're in. So I would just fall off the edge.
Just eat yourself off the edge on accident.
Maybe not. I wouldn't even eat myself off the edge most of the time. Most of the time, I would be like, there's an enemy that can just stomp and knock you back if you're within like 15 feet. And then you just have no control over where you're going if you've used your grapple at that point. So it's just like...
sucks.
Yeah. Wow. So like on the final boss fight, took me like 40 tries or something to get through it.
Wow.
Jeez.
I mean, I was figuring out each step of the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, it was rewarding at the end. Less rewarding than I was hoping, but...
You should become
but I got through it.
You should become a Twitch streamer.
No.
Stream your journey.
I've debated it.
Yeah.
I have a mic.
It's true. That's all you need.
That's all you need. I don't need charisma or anything.
I mean, you got that, obviously. You have a podcast.
It's definitely taken off.
I was about to say something similar. Just raking the listeners in. I actually realized that the last episode I forgot to number it right, so I don't think it's been showing up right in the like order.
We're so professional.
I was like, why is no one listening to this? Besides, normal reasons. And then I realized, I was like, wait, let me check this. I was like, oh, I didn't even put...
It's not showing up as the latest episode.
Yeah, it's not showing up as the latest episode. Anyway.
You're like, it's not the latest. I must have already listened to that one.
So that's... There. Now you know.
Yeah. But it's fixed now.
Yep. So now they're pouring in as we speak.
All 5 listeners.
All right.
And then other than that, I also finished Tress.
Nice.
Yeah.
You like it?
It was good. It's a lot of interesting references near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Can you quickly rank it? What do you put it above in your Cosmere reads?
Oh, you awful man.
I enjoyed it more than Elantris,
Yeah, that's, I mean, a given, probably. No offense to Elantris.
But like Mistborn is one of my favorite trilogies like ever. But
yeah,
and then obviously you can't put it above Stormlight because it's a one book versus gonna be 10 book series. So it's probably on par with Warbreaker.
okay.
Maybe a little lower.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Above the novellas? Have you read the novellas?
I read Emperor's Soul just because of length. I would put above them just because there's more details and stuff.
No.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's also just different than... It's hard to rank because it's different than all of his other books.
Yeah.
It's a lot more lighthearted.
It's true. And like it was... Like he said, I think he said it was like the first time he tried that kind of narrator voice in a book.
And it was great.
In a full-length book, yeah.
But
it worked really well.
I bet it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun to write like that. Nice.
How far through it are you?
I think I'm like halfway done.
you need to get on that, dude.
I just have...
Stop writing and just read.
Yeah. It's not like I'm writing all the time, but it's like when I'm in... It's just hard for me to be in the mood to like transport myself somewhere else. So I'm just...
Yeah.
Anyway.
The joys of being an author. I'm sorry.
Sometimes it doesn't... Sometimes I don't... It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I was writing while I was reading through the... You know, the Mistborn Era 2 books.
I can't escape this world fast enough. I must be reading.
Well, if you're writing, then you you still are. You're creating a world to escape into.
That's fair.
Anyway, what about you, Jeremiah? What are you escaping into?
Nothing. No. Depression. No, I'm just... Cut that.
Cry for help.
No.
It's a veiled joke.
They're always veiled jokes. What have I been doing? I finished...
20 books.
Only one. I finished the first book of the Icewind Dale trilogy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I got 20% done with the second book. And then was just like, I'm in a weird mood where I just want to consume media that makes me feel something. Which sounds like I'm depressed, but I promise I'm not.
Well, I don't know.
I promise I'm not.
Suppressed.
So I started reading. So I actually Googled fantasy books that made you cry. And not a single person put Stormlight, and I'm disappointed.
I was about to say, it was probably all Brandon Sanderson books.
No, but so I didn't find any book that sounded interesting, so I just decided to start reading the third Malazan book again.
Okay, never mind.
Read what?
The book I gave Stephanie, like, or I didn't give it to her. I suggested it. She
Dawn
was
of
like,
Wonder?
Dawn of Wonder.
Is it good?
I think it's great, and it will make you feel things.
Maybe I'll check it out next. I've already started Malazan book 3, and I've read...
It's too late to stop.
I read the epilogue, and now I'm, like, interested again.
Okay.
So.
It'll be a while.
And that's going to take me... That's a 900-page book, and those books are hard
Dawn
to
of Wonder
read.
is big.
Well, the Malazan books are just hard to read.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're dense.
They're really focused.
Like, I'm only reading the epilogue, and I'm already like, oh, there's, like, already 13 new races and characters that you've introduced in the third... What are you doing?
Stop.
So I started that. The first book, Icewind Dale, was really good, though. I actually enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed Drizzt.
I think I've read up to book 20-something.
Oh, jeez.
Whatever Gauntlgrim is.
Man, yeah, you definitely ran up there.
You're up to book 20 of
Drizzt,
Ari
the
Salvatore.
Drizzt.
Yeah, the Drizzt. Or Drizzt, or I don't know. However you pronounce that.
I say Drizzt, but...
It's not spelled to be pronounced in English.
Drizzt. But I enjoyed it. I don't know. I wanted something. I like those books, but I also did, prior to that, was reading a bunch of Star Wars stuff, which is also really easy. And I kind of just wanted a book, like a book.
A book.
Something.
With a capital B.
Once again, a book that made me feel something. But also in that vein, I decided to start watching Attack on Titan.
There. Is that scratching the itch?
That is absolutely scratching the itch because I am feeling a lot of things.
Scratching it raw.
I have been having a hard time putting it down, actually. I literally, Steph was for some reason, threw on Say Yes to the Dress on YouTube during dinner. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go on my phone and watch it then. Sat right here, then on my phone.
This is not nearly depressing enough. There is no blood.
I pretty much just, I finished, well, there could be. Those moms get feisty in that show. I just finished the first, I'm assuming the first arc of it, the Battle of Trost. which was really good. But what got me into it was I keep seeing on things. I think the final episode came out. The final part of Attack on Titan came out.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a couple things about that.
And so I keep seeing like clips, and I'm just like, all right, my brother's told me about it, his friend has told me about it, and I'm like, all right, it's time to finally commit. And I'm in an animation mood and like art mood and everything like that. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And I started, and now I don't want to stop. So that is
How many seasons is it?
4.
Sounds about right. Yeah,
It's about 4.
Why do I feel like it's been out forever?
It has.
it has. Like I started it when I was in college.
It started when I was in North Carolina.
I think I stopped when I stopped going to college. But
So has it been a thing where it was like they brought it back, or is it a thing where they've just
took
been
a couple years
slowly?
breaks? Are they going along with the writer, or
I think they're going along. I think it was one of those things where, like they were with the writer. They didn't want to overpass the writer.
they're not like One Piece where they'll just write a filler season just because the writer hasn't written the next book yet?
They're like staying with. They want it to stay pretty faithful, and I feel like I don't know. Just watching it, the animation in it seems like a lot. To be honest with you, so I can see that also taking a little
that was
time.
the thing when it first was released. Is like the level of animation compared to other anime series that were out at the time, because it was being compared to like Naruto or Bleach, which
Naruto and Bleach, like those are great. I'm also watching Naruto. I found my brother was telling me about a thing. It's called Naruto Kai, where basically they take all of Naruto and take out all the filler episodes and then mash them into like
Dragon Ball Z Kai,
and then mash them into like 2-hour-long episodes without any fillers. And so I was like, well, this is perfect because I want to watch Naruto, but I can't stand filler.
That's why I read it instead, just because.
So I'm like 3 episodes into that now, and it's
a good time to be alive if you like anime. It seems like
it is phenomenal. I'm loving Naruto. I'm like, because I pretty much know all that happened for Naruto, and up to Shippuden. And once I get to Shippuden, I don't really know. So I decided to go ahead and start up at Shippuden, and I don't know if you know, but how long it's been since you read it, but they're battling. Gaara just got taken, by Sakurai and Deidara.
I think I remember. It's been. I think it's
the first arc in the Shippuden
in high
series.
school.
Yeah, it's the first arc in the Shippuden series, but it's really good. But yeah, comparing that animation, which that was a while ago. I mean, that was years ago. But that was the animation to Attack on Titan. Like Attack on Titan's animation it's
miles ahead.
It's pretty phenomenal. And I was watching it. The way they do their characters, their outlines are thick.
Oh yeah,
like the black outlines for the characters are very thick.
It really leads into the tone of the animation.
Very pleasant. It's a very pleasant art style.
Where do you watch it?
So Crunchyroll is a streaming app. They have no, you don't
have to. You just have to deal with ads if you don't.
Yeah, some of them they do for free. I'm watching. I don't think the English version they had for free. Only a few episodes, but they have a 14-day trial, and it's like $6 a month.
That's
right,
which is really cheap. And there's honestly a bunch of anime on there that I probably will watch.
Yeah.
So I'm actually think I'm just gonna keep it. I might get rid of like Netflix or something because I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could get rid of Netflix too, probably.
Actually, I have a few subscriptions I need to get rid of anyway, so let's just get rid of those.
Yeah. If you need Netflix for a month, you can just get it for a month and then stop and finish your show, whatever's on.
Exactly. There's nothing on. The only show that I care for Netflix is Stranger Things, and who knows when that will come out next. Yeah. But anyway, Attack on Titan, phenomenal. I'm loving it. Can't wait to keep watching it. Can't wait to just continue to get more and more depressed because I can already tell it's just going to get worse.
What else?
Other than that, just I drew a lot of drawing. Spending a lot of time. I'm really jumping into animation, trying to figure out animation on my own. Do have a book that helped. Like I bought a book that a lot of people recommended. I cannot remember the name of it right now, but so I've been trying to teach myself animation a little bit. But I thought of a story in my head while I was showering one day.
Perfect.
Talking to myself, as one does.
As one does.
And decided I wanted to make an animation for it. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I'm also working on Earpiece, but Earpiece is an animation. It's just sort of an animation, I guess. I don't know, not really.
It's like, it's like a mini comic.
Like a slideshow type of
slides,
thing. Yeah. But yeah, I actually am going to start back up on that and like going hard on that here pretty soon. Since most of my line work is done for like the first half of it.
Nice.
Just gotta get shading in. Other than that, I've started a game called Chained Echoes, which is an indie game. I think if I remember correctly, it's created by one guy. 16-bit RPG, classic RPG, but with like quality of life, nice quality of life things. Like after each battle, your health and MP just regenerate, so you don't have to worry about like outside of combat
potions or whatever,
dealing with all that. Which like, and you would think that would be like, oh, that just makes the game easy. No, my characters still die all the time in combat. There's like the combat itself, it's turn based, but like it's got this overdrive system where you have to kind of try and keep your overdrive bar in a certain area, and if you do, it doubles your attack damage and it halves your MP cost for skills. But if you go out of it, it doubles the damage you take.
Oh.
And then when you're below it, trying to get into it, or you stay out of it, it just normal damage or whatever. And how to rise it up is use skills, and how to lower it is like you'll have a specific type of skill, and if you use that specific type of skill, it'll lower it a certain bit. And so there is a little bit of management of like trying to. It makes it very fun, and there's definitely times where I forget about it, and I'm like all of a sudden I'm like overdrive bar, and I'm getting like one hitted by a person. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So it's very fun. Story is also very engaging, and it's kind of nice being able to play a game where I don't have to worry about like a cutscene. Because a lot of times I like to watch things or like to watch YouTube while I'm playing a game. Yeah. But it gets hard when I'm playing a story game because cutscenes and having to hear people talk, and like I enjoy that, so I want to listen to it. But I'm also watching something. So this is nice because I don't have to do that, because it's literally all just text. There is no like voice acted. There's no voice acting at all in it, actually. You know, you have the music for the game, which I have on. Yeah. But like, there's no voice acting or anything like that, and that's kind of honestly kind of nice. It's been a while since I've played a game like that. So, and yeah, the story is really engaging. So it's cheap, it's like $25. So nice. If you like those types of games, give it a go. I've heard only good things about it from reviews. So
and you've said only good things about it, and
I feel only good things about it. I feel lots of good things.
You have to watch some more Attack on Titan. Deal with that. Those good feelings.
I just need to read Stormlight again. Is what I need to do if I want to feel things.
The ultimate dissension.
Man, that's about it for me.
Nice.
It's been a nice couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Feeling things again.
Beyond the desire for... Is that why you want depression? Because you're just feeling too much?
I'm dull inside, Caleb.
Which is it?
No, I just get kicks for I just want like good storytelling that like makes you feel... You know, you want a good story that makes you feel something.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you don't feel anything in general, but like you just want a good story that makes you feel something. So,
yeah.
I just don't feel anything in general, but... I have family that listens to this. They're gonna think I'm depressed.
Have some potassium.
I'm fine, guys.
Take your potassium.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'll say to that. All right. Well, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna grab some mead. Yes, you heard it right. We have mead. The mead is back. The mead is back in town.
Back in town.
The mead is back in town. And then we're going to check in on the Cosmere. So join us in a few seconds.
Of cinnamon, vanilla,
don't read it yet.
Maple and smoked.
Don't read it yet. We're back.
Oh, you already hit play.
We've got Groenfell meaderies.
More Groenfell.
More Groenfell. Shout out to the woman-owned meadery. Fire on Snow. Cinnamon vanilla mead with maple and smoked peppers.
Literally sounds amazing, by the way.
It better taste amazing.
It comes in pints.
It does come in pints, yes. Thank you for saying that. Jeremiah, tell us about this mead.
This mead is a warm, delightful blend of cinnamon, vanilla, maple, and smoked pepper from our friends at Run Amok Maple alongside Hatch. Bequino?
I have no idea.
And jalapeno peppers from our own farm.
Oh.
This drink is inspired by the classic Vermont treat, Sugar on Snow, and it's our way of sharing maple sugaring season with friends near and far.
Boom.
Well, thank you, our friends at Groenfell Meadery. We shall taste, and if it's anything like the rest of your stuff, it'll be delicious. I don't think I've had one of their drinks I have not liked.
That's what it looks like.
What do you think?
Wow, it's very interesting.
It hits the back of my throat with that pepper.
The front of it, I don't like as much as the back of it. Like the first taste when I swallow it, I'm not sure what it is that is not jiving. But then the rest of the flavors kind of, I get all of it. I get the cinnamon, I get the pepper, and I think the maple too. It all really comes together on the back end of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's not working for me on the front. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. I agree. For some reason, the initial that front end taste, it almost tastes kind of bland.
Yeah.
Like I don't really taste anything. Then I get all the hints of everything, and then it hits back my throat with the pepper. I dig it. I like it. It's not, it's not my favorite. I'll definitely say it's not my favorite, but I do like it. Let's see.
I generally like sweet things, so I kind of wish the maple or vanilla were a little stronger, but
Yeah.
That was better.
Yeah,
That
the rule with these seems to be they're more mild than the flavor than what it says the flavor profile is. It's more subtle.
I mean, if all the flavors in this profile were very strong, then it would be a mess.
That's true.
I don't know. We should try it. Let's just let's take all these ingredients and just put them together.
I'm excited.
Get some cinnamon and then get some vanilla.
You know what's coming soon?
What's coming soon?
Buckland.
Oh, yeah.
That comes out in spring. So they're going to start making Buckland soon.
Oh, yes.
That's a regular thing. This I think is I think this is kind of a limited. They do these
Probably.
I need to order some soon.
That's part of why I got it, because it was like they were saying,
I always like trying their new flavors. This one isn't my favorite, but it's still good. It's still I will finish this and would drink another one.
Do you remember the Smoke on the Mountain one? I think I like this better than that. That one was another one that had some spice to it.
I'm trying to remember what my favorite is. It's been a while since I've had them.
Buckland was your favorite for a long time.
I think Buckland was my favorite. But there's that. What was that red can?
Red can.
Stephanie had got me some for Christmas. I think that might have been or my birthday
a
couple years ago.
Yeah, she did. And it wasn't Buckland. Well, there's one that is like, what is it called? Hop Swarm, I think.
I know what you're talking about.
And that one is like a hoppy one, but it doesn't taste like you would think it would. And it's really good. It actually is more sweet. And the honey, it has more of a honey flavor profile that you would expect. I really like that one. And I think that's a regular too. That should be coming out.
I do think the Buckland is my favorite. No, I do. I don't know. It was just weird because it's got a green, like a little bit of a tea flavor to it. Yeah. And I don't like tea normally, but I like it.
That one, the spice got me, man. I was trying to swallow it without spewing it everywhere.
This is growing on me the more I drink it.
Yeah, I really like the...
Just gotta wash it in the fireball first.
I really like the aftertaste. It's really good. What is going on in the Cosmere, guys?
A lot.
Like what?
Everything's going on. Depends on which
crap.
Okay, don't eat your peppermint patty and then drink this afterwards. It's not a great taste.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
You all right?
Do we know? Like, do we have a timeline of when the different stories take place, in reference to each other? Like in the whole Cosmere.
One moment.
I think we do.
Is that on?
I mean, that is that is out there. It might be in Coppermine. I'll say Cosmere chronology.
You just go to random fact Coppermine. What is this?
There is a chronological order.
Wait a minute. How many shards are there?
16. Duh.
Well, if you count these, that's 17. So it's just there's this unknown one is the 17th shard.
I don't know. There's 17?
You count that at 17. I counted twice.
The 17th shard. That's a podcast.
9 and 8,
it is a podcast, but I thought that was like a thing where it's like they're the 17th shard.
That's what I thought too when I heard the name.
Oh,
No.
Actually, speaking of spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning for the Cosmere.
Specifically you, Juwu. Turn around now. Don't listen to this.
Run away.
Because I know you're
Stop
reading,
your
you're
ears.
reading Wave Kings. Read that.
Yes. Yeah.
Get caught up and then come back and listen
How
to
far
this.
through is he at this point?
He's getting there. He's. I don't know if he's read recently. He's been busy.
Yeah,
but he's probably getting close to halfway. Would be my guess.
that's pretty decent. That's like a full normal book.
Yeah, he's definitely read at least a whole book at this point.
Yeah.
Here. Brandon has been just back to the whole what's the timeline thing. Brandon has been somewhat evasive about the order of Cosmere stories so that the timeline remains flexible for future books that he writes. He's estimated that there are roughly 6,000 years between the shattering and the breaking of the Oath Pact, with the latter event still predating White Sand. Although this figure is non-canonical and subject to change, Brandon has also stated that the books have mostly been released chronologically, which allows a rough timeline to be constructed.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, we know that Warbreaker takes place before Worlds of Radiance.
Is the Oath Pact specific to Roshar, or was that something all the shards had?
It's specific to Roshar. Okay. I think there have been similar things that have happened.
Yeah.
You know,
there aren't vows in the other shards. Like nobody else has to promise. You don't have to promise to do something to be Mistborn. You just
you don't. But there is something like oaths with shards do matter, right? Like
that's true.
If a shards make an agreement and they break it, then that weakens them. We see that with we see that with Mistborn.
In that case, on Roshar, they are making specific pacts with the shard. Or with parts of the shard.
Yeah. Oath Pact, specifically
so
was...
That's how that transfers down.
Was the Heralds, which my guess is that's how they became the Heralds, was their oaths. The Oath Pact.
Oaths to honor. I assume, honor.
But so you have Dragonsteel... There's a Dragonsteel series that he's going to write at some point. It's going to be like Hoy's origin.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a prequel to that.
And that'll be a prequel to everything.
And everything.
That'll be very late.
Wow, that'll be wild if Ad Nauseam's still a thing.
Because that will take place pre-shattering.
Pre-shattering, that's wild.
What part of Tress are you at?
I am at.
There's a part in there where I think they reference Hoyd's name.
I just got past the Doug part.
Okay,
and I did see Hoyd, and he's like. He's
lost his mind.
Yeah, he's like,
so now you know he's in the story though.
Yeah, he's lost his sense. Yeah, he can't sense things. Like
he has no sense of fashion. He has no sense of propriety.
Yeah, something weird.
There's a point later on where I think they mention Hoyd's true name.
Okay. So after Dragonsteel would be White Sands. Mm-hmm. Then Elantris. The Elantris trilogy, supposedly, there's supposed to be a trilogy of Elantris, and those predate Mistborn Era 1. And then
are those in the same world as Emperor's Soul?
Yes.
Okay.
Emperor's Soul is a different part of Cell.
Okay, yeah. Elantris takes place in one city.
Right. It's like right next to Elantris. Right next to
Elantris itself.
Elantris, you have...
And then is Emperor's Soul, that kingdom, is the one that's invading in Elantris?
I don't think so. No. Okay. The one that's invading is like, what is it, Dakor or something? And
something like that.
And they're the Rose Empire. They're like on the other side of the planet. I distinctly remember in the Emperor's Soul... the characters like talking about another part of Cell as if it was like they were barbarians. They had such little knowledge of them or anything about them. They didn't really give them much of a thought.
Does Emperor's Soul take place in the same time period of that world as Elantris, or is that?
I think so.
Before?
It would be my guess.
I think it takes place after Elantris, but I think it takes place in the same general time frame. But
see, that threw me off when I read Emperor's Soul. Was like, is this the same world as Elantris? And because it's a completely different magic system.
Yeah.
I read them far enough apart that I didn't even pick up the same world.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, the thing about the Elantris magic system is it's very programming-esque. You have symbols and things that you can code into it to make it do very specific things. And both in the with the Aeons and with the the stamps, the soul stamps, is very. They're both very programmy type. You know,
in Elantris, that's devotion, and the stamps are dominion.
So let's. I guess while we're here talking about Elantris, let's talk about the shards there real quick. What's going on there? So here's what we have for devotion and dominion. They're the two shards of ad nauseam, which we've done an episode a long time ago. So if you're here for this episode, you already know all this, or to some level. If you don't, ad nauseam was a there's apparently in world there's different views on ad nauseam. Was that ad nauseam was some kind of like force of creation that was shattered, or ad nauseam was actually God and was killed and shattered into 16 pieces, into 16 aspects. So aspects of that God split and then were picked up by vessels, by people who then bore those aspects. So the two people that picked up the aspects of ad nauseam, these aspects were devotion and dominion. So they are embodying those aspects of that divine being that was shattered. They settled at some point on the planet called Cell. And there was some kind of original agreement between all the vessels that they wouldn't do that they wouldn't go to the same planets, that they would split up and that they would go their own separate ways. But Devotion Dominion did not do that. And so a shard named Odium, the divine hatred of God, used this as justification to attack both of the shards. And that battle resulted in their splintering. And so there's this latent investiture on Cell that became this dangerous plasma named the Door. And there's splinters there's splinters, the Scions. There's these things called Scions that are kind of like these floating, almost like Spren in a way.
In a way, yeah.
But they're self-aware. They can like
autonomous,
project.
I would say, than Spread.
Yeah, seem like they are. They can project. You can project like from one Scion to another, almost like a hologram.
It's like they're looking for a master or something.
Yeah. Devotion, there you go, probably. Yeah. And then you have the Skays, which are similar to Scions, but they are the Dominion side of these this power that's pooling there on the world.
Remnants.
Yeah. So we don't see. So like you have the elements of Elantris happen, and we haven't seen. We saw another magic system on Elantris on Cell in the soul stamps in
both Emperor's Soul and Lost Metal.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was so if we were to say, so that's like Elantris as far as the Cosmere goes, all that is very early in the Cosmere's timeline. But then we have someone showing up, which actually, did you guys know that the character Moonlight is actually Shy or Shay?
I thought it was.
I assumed it was, but it wasn't like.
It's been too long since
really
I read Elantris, but yeah,
clear. Yeah, so because you
Emperor's Soul, right? She's from Emperor's Soul.
Oh yeah.
To remember, I don't know if you guys remember this in the Emperor's Soul. The main character was trying to steal something, and the king's jester, who was actually Hoyd in disguise, stole it from her, and she got caught.
I gotta reread that.
And so she was like super tucked. It's a super like throwaway line of her like about the king's jester, but it's confirmed that it was Hoyd. And like in the Lost Metal, she comments how much she hates Hoyd. She like they see each other and they're talking about how they both kind of keep an eye on each other. And apparently she did catch up to him, according to Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
And like, because she said she was going to catch up to him, and I don't know what she did to him, but apparently she did catch.
So, real quick,
when she wasn't herself technically.
Real quick,
I don't know.
To it, so we're going back to Cell real quick with the magic, their devotion and dominion. Obviously, with them being, their power was trapped in the cognitive realm. Odium did that to prevent them from gaining another vessel. And this is what... so it actually said... I think it's mentioned somewhere that it's hard to travel to Cell because...
There's no good
they basically... Well, they have a polarized storm of investiture. That the door is a polarized storm of investiture that makes it, like, dangerous.
Oh.
Because they're stuck in the cognitive realm where people will travel to other worlds. And so... by the way of the cognitive realm, which right now is the only way to travel because they don't have spaceships yet. We're not in that point. It's difficult to get there. But also it says... I was looking at it... the existence of Door has a profound effect on Cell, as rather than a single planet-wide magic system, like Scadrial and Metal, the planet has numerous ones, each making its home in a particular region, all influenced in some way by both shards. There are actually 5 magic systems on this world, and they're all separated by different regions. And it says this tie between the location of magic also means that the user's physical position in relation to the system's home region influences the strength of the magic, and moving further away from its origin point will diminish its effects. Yeah. And furthermore, in order to access a magic system, it appears one must be from the land associated with it. Going back to Twin Soul, she used the soul stamp to rewrite her history to making her come from Aralon.
Arlen,
to be Elantris,
right?
An Elantrian. That's just I'm reading this. That's very.
She could use it, so that she can use the Elantrian magic.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
and looking at some of the other ones, there's like blood magic in here. Dang. Blood sealing, another Rose Empire magic, same as the forgery.
I think she fights a blood sealer in the novella.
Yeah, using human blood sealers can create wards and animate skeletons of the dead. I wonder if we see... I have to do a reread of Elantris. I wonder if we see any of these mentioned at all in the book.
I don't know if we see them, because in Elantris itself, they don't do much beyond the magic of Elantris.
I feel like Elantris hits you
more hidden there, but yeah.
I feel like Elantris hits you with a lot at the end. Like, you get a lot of reveal at the end. You don't really understand. Like, you get a lot of reveal about the religion that... what's his name? Is a part of
invading kingdom.
Yeah.
Is he from the Fjordell?
Yeah, Fjordell.
So the magic of Fjordell. The magic of Fjordell. Through chance, the bones of a Dakhor monk are induced to change shape, which grants them abilities such as increased strength, bodily transformation, and even teleportation.
They do go over that, yeah.
And then you have Che San, the magic of Jindo. There's another place. Through taking specific stances and forming specific motions of one's body, the user can access Door for increased strength, awareness, and possibly other effects.
I don't remember that being gone over, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there.
Here's something interesting about Cell and autonomy.
Whoa. This punk. Not fans of autonomy right now.
So, people have been noticing after the Lost Metal that the followers of Shudareth, who are the followers of the Fjorden, their religion is Shudareth. That the followers of Shudareth, there's a lot of similarities between them and how autonomy's influence is described in Lost Metal. And there is apparently a Elantris sequel that is about the god of Elant from Cell returning, and that might be another autonomy, like Avatar or similar thing to what happened in Lost Metal. So their autonomy is super out, like, which kind of fits maybe autonomy, their intent, but autonomy is super all over the place. Yeah. Like if you look at this map,
she's really doing her thing.
Autonomy is over on,
she's on Babadon
on Taldane. Taldane, so that's white sand, right? And then you've got First of the Sun. Autonomy's got like an avatar there. Autonomy has been involved in, there's some kind of influence on Cell probably. Was trying to be involved in Scadrial, getting involved there. And then Oberdai as well, which I don't know much about Oberdai. We could go to that one maybe, but Autonomy, there is actually two, I think, Autonomy and Odium, I think, splintered a shard together on Threnody. I think they splintered Ambition, but anyway, so Cell, there's for a book that is not his strongest book, there's a lot of really interesting Cosmere stuff happening on Cell.
I'm actually excited to reread it, thinking about it now.
I've never read The Hope of Elantris, which is the it's like a sequel novella to Elantris.
I don't think I have either.
I think I did because it's in it's in his
it's an Arcanum
Unbound. Then I did then. Yeah. Yeah, that was the short story that happens right afterwards.
Emperor's Soul was really good. That's one of my favorite things he's written.
Yeah, that was really good.
But yeah, so Cell. So it seems like Cell is definitely, and he's always described, from what I've read, he's always described the 3 tentpole series as Elantris, Mistborn, and Stormlight. So definitely he's going to get to more Elantris stuff.
I want more. We can go here next.
Okay.
I want more stuff from Nalthus. I want more Warbreaker.
Yeah, that'll be. That's also that feeds into a lot of things. There's a lot of characters from there that go everywhere else.
Well, that's the thing, though. Well, before we move on to Cell, though, from Cell, who are the other? There's some other. So we've got Moonlight, who is Shy, who's a world hopper. Now we know, so she's a world hopper. Mm-hmm. What? And you've told me that Galadin is a world hopper.
Galadin is in one of the interludes of Stormlight of Way of Kings. So remember when there's an interlude with three guys, and they're in the lake town that's the lake, the water comes up to people's ankles.
Yeah.
And there's those 3 guys that are looking for. They say they're looking for someone, and it's assumed that they're looking for Hoyd. One of those is him.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's a part of an organization called the 17th Shard in the I think that's the organization that he's in. A mysterious organization speculated to be influential in the overall Cosmere. Its members have a non-interventionist philosophy, believing that the shards were split up for a reason, that people shouldn't dabble in mixing them. So apparently, that's probably why they don't like Hoyd.
So yeah, he's later joins the 17th Shard and is seen on Roshar.
And that's why they don't like the Ghostbloods, because the Ghostbloods are very much in messing with stuff in Cosmere.
There's also I don't think I ever say his name, but there's one guy who's a guide in the cognitive realm on Roshar when they first go in there. He's at one of the lighthouses.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is...
Who is that?
I don't think they say his name, but I just know he's from Cell because he says Merciful Domai. And that's a expression from the people of Cell.
Yeah.
Specifically from Elantris.
Yeah, I remember that in that lighthouse. Wasn't he surprised when he heard that the surges, surge binding, was back?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's what he said. I wonder if it's
anyone that we actually know.
I don't know, yeah.
Cosmere. Yeah, unfortunately this page doesn't have.
I mean, there's
people from.
There's not a lot of context for him. He just points them in a direction and sends them on and gives them supplies, and that's about it, I think.
Here's another thing from someone from Cell that I didn't realize. So there's the female lead of Elantris. What's her name?
I forget her name.
Oh, Serene. I just I remembered it. And Hrathen was the Fjordan priest that defects. So Serene, her uncle, she had an uncle Kyan that's like she's hanging out with a lot in the book and working with. Kyan had a daughter, and that daughter is in the Lost Metal. Let's see, she's one of the Ghost Bloods. She's the Ghost Blood that says her code name is Codenames Are Stupid. Remember her? So she's from Cell.
Oh, that's right. I think that's kind of like hinted at that she's from Cell.
Yeah, she is her name is Case or Casey, Kaise. She is from Cell. So she's related to Serene. Apparently she's gonna...
I'd say like Kais,
maybe.
No, whatever.
Kai's, maybe. The way they do those. Kyan and...
I just say Kais. Or Kais.
But yeah, apparently she's going to be a big character in maybe future Elantris books.
Elantris too.
Okay,
Electric
so yes, but sorry, Nalthus. So Nalthus, the only thing I wonder about Nalthus being like of the future of Nalthus is it seems like a lot of the main characters aren't on Nalthus.
So yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a Warbreaker 2.
Maybe something happened.
He wanted to do a Nightblood.
Actually, you know what? No, we need almost kind of need to do a Nalthus or a Warbreaker 2 because we don't really know how. With how Warbreaker ends, we don't know how they become world hoppers. We don't understand why they're because when they end, well, I won't spoil it, but like how it ends doesn't understand. You don't understand why they're where they're at. Because Warbreaker 1 has an ending. It ends.
It has an ending, but it doesn't explain why they're leaving.
Well, we don't know why that they're not on Nalthus anymore.
I remember in Words of Radiance when you meet, Zyle, who's Vasher from Warbreaker, that he describes the moment of death, you being hit with an awesome amount of power. Basically, he's describing like that he became to me it sounded like he was describing himself becoming that he's like a cognitive shadow now. Like he died and that he
might be
say that one more time.
Spoilers for Warbreaker, but like
okay.
Does that mean that the people on Nalthus who die and get turned are they now cognitive shadows?
So I think that's the theory is that they are, which I think I missed. I was reading something. What did you say about?
Zyle says he's just talking to Kaladin in I think Words of Radiance, and he's talking about, or maybe it was Rhythm of War because he had a big conversation in Rhythm of War with Kaladin about dying. And then being hit with an awesome amount of power, and then it like basically, like an imprint, basically, it's like this power goes into you, and you're the mold, and then what comes out is that you or not, something along those lines. So he basically, to me, sounded like he was saying, "I'm like the real me died, and I'm like something that was left over, and I don't know exactly what that means."
So.
Yeah, you'd probably...
Caleb, spoilers for you, Josh, and I'll try and keep it to a minimum as best I can. But, like...
It's fine, honestly, at this point.
But I'm pretty sure...
Just read the book.
I'm pretty sure it's like, it's theorized that, like, all of the quote-unquote gods...
Yeah.
The whatever they're called, I can't remember, are basically cognitive shadows.
Ascended?
The Ascended, I think. They're basically cognitive shadows. They're being kept alive by Investiture. So that's why they have to get breaths every time they get offered the breaths because it keeps them alive. That's why Zahel is on Roshar because Roshar has such a high amount of Investiture, just free Investiture just out there. He can get it everywhere.
Every storm.
And so it basically keeps him alive.
So remember,
that makes sense.
Remember in Secret History, right, when Kelsier, part of the reason that anyone stays alive after they die for any amount of time before they pass on to the beyond or whatever, their soul stretches out and goes away.
They're returned.
Is because they're heavily invested. And so the more heavily invested you are, the longer you can kind of like have more time in the.
So that's just because he took on preservation for that little bit of time. He was able to stick around.
But then because like if you have some type of ascension, even if it's minor, then it's like you're tied to that power in a way that keeps you around.
It changes you.
That's the same thing with the heralds. Same thing with
because the power doesn't go, and you could. Right. So because you were invested with the power, then some part of you can't go anymore.
Right. So, and isn't that what is happening on Warbreaker Analthus? You know, because you have what you have a lot of times in the Cosmere is you have the Shard, and the Shard will heavily invest certain people as like avatars of it. You know, like you have, you have the heralds. Mm-hmm. You know, are kind of like avatars of honor.
Yeah.
You know, you have...
Or they were supposed to be.
You have... Well, in Lost Metal, you have the avatar of Trell or Autonomy was going to be... What's her name? Wax's sister. You know. Mm-hmm. Then you have... let's see... Would be another example.
Okay, this is
in Warbreaker. Like,
so I what I was getting at is that it seems like endowment. It seems like that is kind of like a big thing in Warbreaker. Maybe that there's because I know there's like all these gods. Mm-hmm. So it seems like the endowment shard is making lots of avatars, basically giving a lot of their
kind of So if they die in some act that reflects an aspect. Then they come back as an avatar of that aspect.
Okay.
So what happens is when someone dies, and I think
in Warbreaker,
it says although this is an interesting tidbit, becoming returned without being born on Nalthus is very hard, but is possible, even without having collected any breath. And returned will gain general knowledge and skills of previous lives, although if they were a Knight Radiant prior to death, they will lose their not hell bond. That is an interesting tidbit of information.
If they were a Knight Radiant before their death?
And they come back as a return, they lose their bond.
Okay.
Which means that we could have returned that were Radiant.
Do they have to go from Roshar to Nalthus?
I don't think
so.
Then die. I don't know.
Or do somewhere...
I think you have to
with endowment.
But anyway, going back to the return, it says... endowment can be somewhat erratic when when someone dies, she basically chooses, but it says she can be erratic with choosing. But a person who returns keeps their soul. Hold on. Where was it? I literally just read it. Oh yeah, okay. The exact process of a return's resurrection is unclear. However, Light Song had a voice. Oh no, that's not what I'm looking for. Basically, what it is she actually allows them to when someone dies, and I guess she decides to make them returned if she wants to, she lets them see a possible future. She gives them a glimpse into the spiritual realm, lets them see a possible future, and then offers them a chance to return, basically, and to change those events.
That sounds so much like what happened to Wax with Harmony whenever he in Bands of Mourning when he was dying, and Harmony basically showed him like two paths, and he's like, do you want to come back or do you want to go on?
But also, going back to Return, Zahel is definitely different as a Returned.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's more to him. I'm pretty sure he's also the creator of Nightblood, or one of the creators of Nightblood.
He's one of them, yeah. There was
spoilers, Josh.
Nightblood specifically says who his creator is.
Yes, but it was one of the people who was with.
But there was
Zahel is actually, like, oddly enough, a very important character, like historical character in Warbreaker.
In Warbreaker,
that you don't realize that you learn
their overall god,
basically.
What?
In the history of Warbreaker, Zahel is
like in the mythology.
He's the founder of their civilization.
Basically,
is what he is.
And
what? Does he know that?
Yes.
Yes, he's aware.
He's running from it.
How old is he?
He's really old.
They don't get to that.
So at the beginning of the book he starts off as returned?
Yeah. But you don't know that.
You don't know that.
We're spoiling a lot for you right now.
He's found a way
to read it.
I know.
He's found a way to hide it. Like,
yeah.
Because they're returned naturally. They're glowing. They're larger than normal humans.
Yeah.
but he has found a way to shrink himself to normal size, and so to stop his glowing. And normally his hair would be like, it would change color with his emotions, but he's found a way to stop that as well.
Huh.
And that's what, what's her name? The girl from Warbreaker.
Light Song? Oh, the main Vivenna?
Yeah, Vivenna. She is of the royal line, so she's technically a descendant of Zahel. So her hair changes with her emotions, but she can't really control it necessarily. It's a whole thing.
So that's endowment.
But obviously endowment's reach doesn't extend beyond Nalthis, because nobody else returns on other planets that we know of, or that has been spoken of yet.
I'm looking up the Oathbringer epigraphs because I want to see. They talk about...
oh, wow. Having, as a return, you get a divine breath, which automatically makes you of the 5th heightening.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they kind of go over that in the book.
I need to do a third reread. That's the one I've read the most, Warbreaker. I need to do a third reread of that now.
They do that where, like, you automatically get to the point of, like, perfect pitch and perfect memory.
Okay. So the letters in Oathbringer, the first letter is a letter from an autonomy to Hoyd. Dear Savandrius.
Yep.
You know,
they say that in press.
You mustn't worry yourself about Rays, Odium. It is a pity about Aeona and Sky. That's devotion and dominion on Cell from Elantris. They were foolish, violating our pact from the very beginning. No good can come of 2 shards sitting on location. So that's why. So that explains that explains why autonomy, you know, is going to Scadrial. Like autonomy is just like Odium, but for different reasons.
I thought based on
I'm not okay with this 2 shard on this planet deal going on here.
Yeah, I thought based on what was happening in Stormlight that all planets had 2 shards.
No,
they were supposed to only have 1.
Yeah. Or well, you know what? They are only supposed to, but there are several.
Cultivation. Cell has Devotion Dominion.
Yeah.
And then Scadrial has Preservation Ruin. I was under the assumption at the time that Odium had come from a different planet where he had already destroyed his other partner shard.
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it could be, but I don't think so. I think Odium is using these people who have the shards that have kind of joined together. He's using that as a way to destroy them because they all made a pact, an oath to not be able to do that.
Yeah. When the pact,
but when they broke their oath of, well, we can't.
It opens you up.
It opens you up to being able to
the
be
same
shattered.
way. The same way you see in Stormlight when the Odium is constrained to the Rosharan system, and he is desperate for. Like he gets to the point where he is so desperate for a contest of champions because that's basically the only way he can get out of this pact he made, and he wants to get out of that system.
Yeah,
that's
why those 3 planets were 2 shards. These are
which means
main
probably
systems.
Honor must have broken some kind of pact, and you know the fact that Honor got destroyed by Odium, he must have opened himself up to something somehow by. That's what happened with Preservation and Ruin. They agreed. They would create the planet, Ruin would get to destroy it.
Yeah.
And then Preservation welched on it and he put a little bit more of his power into humanity.
So then he had a little
bit less and then he used enough of it to trap Ruin. But by that point, he just was basically barely, anything. That is I think, going to be a big problem in the future for Sazed is the fact that Preservation Ruin is a little stronger than Preservation in that alliance.
that battle.
Yeah. But Autonomy in this letter, the second letter, says, we also instruct you should not return to Obradai. We have claimed that world, and a new avatar of our being is beginning to manifest there. So That's why Oberdai says autonomy, which I don't know if we've seen anything from Oberdai.
Beyond that, I don't think so, no.
So the other letter that I was thinking of was Rhythm of War, where Harmony and Hoyt are talking.
Really? That's Rhythm of War?
Yeah, I thought it was earlier, but apparently it was Rhythm of War. It's funny how Rhythm of War seems so long ago now. It's like, Rhythm of War, that's so old. So much has happened.
Like, book 5 is what out this year or is it next year? That's next year, isn't
Next
it?
year.
Early next year. But, okay, so here's the interesting part about this letter. It says that the most worrying thing I discovered in this was the wound upon the spiritual realm, where ambition, mercy, and odium clashed. Okay, so maybe that's not autonomy. Ambition, mercy, and odium clashed, and ambition was destroyed. The effects on the planet Threnody have been disturbing.
Wow, she was killed shortly after the shattering. Ambition.
That was pretty soon after, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that why Threnody is so messed up?
So, odium, autonomy.
Talk real quick, going back to ambition.
Yeah.
Ambition, odium, mercy fought one another in the space between the planets, struggling in all three realms. Odium gained the upper hand and mortally wounded ambition by tearing off chunks of her power, which altered the people of Threnody as well as the planet in the system. Ambition managed to escape the system, but she was killed and splintered in another location despite fighting back. This left a wound on the spiritual realm and affected Threnody in disturbing ways, as well as having far-reaching effects elsewhere in the Cosmere.
Threnody is the place where Shadows for Silence and the Force of Hell.
There's one, like, that's a short story in the...
Where there's, like,
Arcane of
weird...
About,
where everything sucks.
Yeah. You have to have silver surrounding you at all times, or you will die.
I feel like there's something else weird on Threnody, too. But...
we should probably have at some point gone through what all the shards are. Like, their names.
We have before.
All their
We have
names?
before? Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. We can list off the remaining ones. So yeah, we've covered what? Endowment.
Covered Devotion, Dominion.
We talked about autonomy a good bit.
Endowment.
Devotion, Dominion, and
Harmony, so technically Ruin and Preservation.
There's not much to talk about when it comes to Ambition and Mercy, because they were splintered and killed so early on.
Was Mercy killed? Do we know that? Because as far as I'm aware, we're just unknown with Mercy.
Ambition was killed, but Mercy
maybe you're right.
Not necessarily.
It just says that Mercy was involved in that fight, but I don't think it says anything about her being shattered, or him, or whoever.
I mean, it being Mercy, I would...
Yeah, because sometime around Harmony reached out to Mercy about the threat posed by Odium at Hoyd's request, but became troubled by Mercy as a result of their exchange. So that must be one of the letters from Harmony to Hoyd. So I'm assuming that has not been splintered, but whose vessel is unknown, and we don't know anything else about them.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about Invention, Mercy, Valor, or Whimsy. Really.
Yeah. No, we don't.
But you have...
Yeah.
A little bit of, we know, Ambition.
I imagine Invention is on whatever the most advanced planet in the system is.
You would think so, right? And so, like, when we see that planet, it's probably going to be...
Because they reference in Tress that there are planets who are up to space travel.
That's
the question, though. That's the question, though. When is Tress?
What's crazy about Tress,
Also,
too.
yes.
Tress also opens up the fact that there are other beings than the shards that are like a god, like the Aethers.
Yeah, that's
which also provide magical
the Aethers. That's
ability.
something you see in the Lost Metal mentioned a little bit, and that's something that Brandon's talked about will be covered in like the Dragonsteel series.
Like what they're even said. Yeah, they said the Aethers predate.
Tress doesn't have
shattering.
shards.
Yeah,
Tress does not have
people
shards.
the people that believe in the Aethers or work with the Aethers would say that Analcium is just like one of many.
Do the people who
potentially
follow cultivation also follow the Aethers? Because I know on Roshar they're considered like black magic people who follow cultivation.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just like a witch or whatever.
Speaking of the Aethers, you know the what's his name in Lost Metal?
Twin Soul?
Is that his name Twin Soul? Yeah, Twin Soul.
Yeah.
So his
Is related to what
the same
red spores.
the pink
Rosite. He's using Rosite.
Is it pink? I think it's pink in that. It says not the red, but it's pink.
Crimson.
Rosite is pink. I think.
I think it was pink in Trust too.
Yeah.
We don't see it in a sea. We see it being used. Yeah. Which is really cool.
I mean, in the sea does the crystal thing similar too. So I don't know if it's exactly
maybe
the
it
same,
is. Maybe it is crimson. Then I don't.
It might be. It's Rosite, whatever it is.
I don't remember.
Exactly. I did get to something that.
So that was cool though.
That mentioned Rosite in Tress, and I was like, oh, you saw that in Lost Metal. So.
But he's also like a being of Rosite.
Who is?
Twin Soul? Or like he... Was it? Who's he?
He's bonded to an Aether. Yeah, he's bonded to an Aether that has some name for it. And yeah. It's very interesting for sure.
We still know very little about the Aethers, and I'm pretty sure it even says in Tress that the Aethers aren't even on planet.
Yeah, they're on the moons.
I don't even know. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we got a lot more to cover. It's not easy covering Cosmere stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
I think this will be maybe even a 3-parter.
Yeah, we could definitely see if the 2-part, maybe we'll get through just covering like basically the check-in like we're doing now. And then the third one we could do theories or whatever. We could just cry for an hour.
I think we haven't even hit Roshar, and we've barely touched. We haven't hit Roshar. We haven't hit Scadrial. We've barely touched autonomy, which is involved in a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot to cover.
And Roshar is a big thing to cover too, because it's you've got lots of stuff going on. Weird
first
stuff.
era of Roshar.
Yeah, right. Because there's going to be another
6
series
books coming out.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep.
It's
gonna be crazy.
Was it
I'm
another trilogy
worried.
for Scadrial?
There were 2
Listen.
more. There's 2 more eras for Scadrial. Because this era that he has now wasn't planned.
Oh right, yeah.
This was I have been writing. I'm pretty sure he said it. I've been doing Wheel of Time. I need something that's a little bit more fun. And so he did the Lost Metal, or he did Alloy of Law, and then it became its own era.
Yes.
Whereas that wasn't initially planned.
It was going to be just one book. Yeah.
It was also only going to be a trilogy, and then it was 4.
Then it became a trilogy. Then it became 4.
Yeah.
So what started out as not a thing became 1 book, became a trilogy, became 4 books.
Became like a
because
core.
It's Brandon Sanderson.
It became a core series of the Cosmere
projects.
One of them's going to be sci-fi too.
That's something we're going to.
That'll be fun.
That's something to maybe we talk about.
I wonder if Trust takes place in the sci-fi era of Scadrial, and that's what we're seeing.
That's possible
because he's telling someone a story, right?
Person is from now or was it Cell?
Still. Well, spoilers. Oh my gosh, spoilers. I'm sorry, Josh. Ignore what we just said.
Oh, I already saw that spoiler last night about the sorceress. But
have you seen my favorite? Have you seen my favorite artwork yet?
Fan?
Have you seen my favorite piece of artwork yet?
I have not.
Trust?
I have not looked at the art.
You will. It's so great. This is the best piece of artwork in the world.
Is it Hoyd? Something with Hoyd.
Yes. Howard Lyon is such a genius.
I may have already seen it and just not known it was the one you liked because I didn't know.
It's better when you. I'm not going to show it to you because it's better when you
have
read it. No, don't show it to him.
I probably have it somewhere because I
have it on my iPad.
I downloaded the ebook, so I have all the images from the book.
But it's better when you read it because you read something about a character. And then it has the artwork, and you're like, "This is I'm so happy they made artwork about this." And it's the stupidest thing in the world, but it makes me so happy.
That's the last scene, isn't it?
Or yes, it's like one of the last things.
The last major scene.
am gonna say, I just gotta say that I am super excited for the 4th secret project. I am like incredibly excited for the 4th.
The 4th one is the next one in the.
It's
in the Cosmere.
It's a not. This is not a spoiler. It's been said this way that it is a Stormlight adjacent story.
It's called The Sunlit Man.
2 and 3 are not, but the 4th one is.
No, third one. There's 3 of them that are Stormlight.
I thought it was 2 and 2.
Actually, the next one. I'm pretty sure the next one that comes out is not
Cosmere. But the third one. 3 of them were.
But 3 and 4.
The artwork they showed at the convention of the next one looks.
The next one is going to be a blast.
Wizard? Yes, that one looks.
The next one is going to be a
so
blast.
good.
Yeah, no, I've read a lot of the sample chapters of these secret projects. Actually, I think Tress was the one I read the least sample chapters
It was
of.
the next one to come out, so you You don't have that much time to forget about it.
Oh my gosh, that's coming out soon.
But
guys.
next month?
the fourth secret project, the sample chapters, dude, I got chills reading that stuff.
I'm excited.
Some of that stuff because there's just some big Stormlight stuff in there. Anyway.
I am really excited though.
I'll
I'm
say.
excited for the second book because it'll be kind of fun to read something that's not Stormlight
Yeah.
or not Cosmere adjacent.
Yeah.
And
It's adjacent, but it's not.
well, not Cosmere specific.
Yeah.
Right. It's
And-
not. It's just like a random fun.
But in the
story
artwork that
that
they
he
showed
wanted
for
to-
that,
that
it was some
so good.
top-notch looking artwork. That was really good artwork.
I wasn't in that.
Howard
section.
Lyon's stuff in the book was really good too.
Yeah, and he did Tress. There was somebody else who did the next one, and then there were 2 people they found online too.
Which is
3 and
really
4.
cool that they did that. They just found 2 people
Yeah.
online.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I think one of them was like
Maybe they like
a
their art or something.
student or
Oh,
was
okay.
in a class or something like that with one of them.
I think it
Mormon.
wasn't. They were in a class
the same
direct-
church.
or taught by Howard Lyon, but it wasn't because of that they were found.
Yeah,
They
it
were
just
found
happened
and then
to
it was
be
like, yeah.
that. Oh yeah, you were in a class taught by me.
Yeah.
But they were found on the internet. Like that's really cool. That gives people like me hope.
Can happen.
one day I can
Just
be doing
keep
this. In 30
working
years
in
when
your-
he's still working on the Cosmere.
keep working in your garden.
Whew.
Just keep working in your garden. Yeah, he will be.
Well, if you can't tell everybody, we're all very excited for the Cosmere wheel. You need to read all of it.
I accidentally
Immediately.
momentarily paused that for some reason. So like, go. What did you say to Chuo?
Juwu, if you're listening right now, you need to stop and read all of it. All of it. Like all 12 books.
No.
That's more than 12 at this point.
Just stick with Stormlight.
How many books are there at this
and
point?
then-
There's
1, 2, 3, 4,
4 for
5,
Stormlight.
6, 7.
You can't
8,
count right
7
now. 7 for
11.
Mistborn.
Hold on. 12, 13, 14. 14 books. Plus the short novels.
Yeah, there's
Yes, there's more.
4 for Stormlight, 7 for Mistborn. There's Elantris Warbreaker. There's Emperor's Soul. There's the Arcanum Unbound. Unless you count each
Intimidated?
individual.
Wait.
You should
4.
be.
There's 4 for Stormlight.
Yeah,
7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
For
12,
Mistborn.
13. For
Elantris
Warbreaker?
Warbreaker. Yeah.
And
It's funny to watch you guys try and count these right now.
and then Trust is also
cracking me
Cosmere.
up.
So that's 14. I was right. I did math right. You were saying you're telling me I'm wrong.
I don't think
you
counting
count-
is math.
Do you count
Is counting
Emperor's
math?
Soul and then the Arcanum Unbound?
I said and the short novels.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have 14 and the short novels. And if you want to count the graphic novels as a book, then you got that as well.
It's true, yeah.
Which I still need to read. You can get them all for free on Kindle Unlimited, which I have. I just haven't read them.
They're on Kindle. Oh,
Shame on you.
I thought he was leaving Kindle.
Kindle Unlimited. I mean, they might have.
Not completely.
But he's not future
No.
publishing is not on Kindle.
Yeah.
I thought it was Audible.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more audible thing.
Anyway, this is a story for another time.
Well, this was fun. I think I enjoyed it. Even
Yeah.
it was a little daunting when we were thinking about it. Like,
I
how do
learned
we
a
talk
lot.
about this?
I relearned a
But
lot.
thank
I
you,
should say.
Copper Mine. Shout out to the Copper Mine
Yeah, whoever runs that or does that.
to help us.
All the contributors.
Help us not just sit here and just be like, I don't really know anything. I don't know what's happening.
shard called Adenothium. I mean, he's a person. I mean, no, he was shattered.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this map is like in Brandon Sanderson. There was like an article that was done about him recently, and they actually like took pictures of his like private like writing house or like part of his house, and he has like a literal like atrium, like thing that's like this. It's like this the drawing that Isaac Stewart did of the constellation of. Or not the constellation, but of the system, the Cosmere, and it's like all the different constellations and stuff, and it looks like he literally is like in a. If the Cosmere was real, he's in a Cosmere like museum when he's writing, basically.
That's really cool.
So I mean, imagine that for a place to write your series. Anyway. But thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it.
Get ready for the
we certainly
next
did.
part 2 of this, and
Yeah, we might take a break and come back to this because I think we're gonna have
We have another guest
maybe have
on.
Alex on.
Another guest on. Oh, why did I just spoil the guest?
Yeah,
Gosh.
sorry. Now they won't listen
Wow.
because they know.
Oh
Cut
my
that.
gosh.
Cut that. And
Wow.
we'll cut that.
Well, the guest on next week or next episode.
You don't know their last name though, so that's not spoiled.
Yes, we'll have a guest on next episode. It'll be a fun one, I think. I think it'll be a pretty good one, a good episode. So, and then maybe after that, if Caleb's down for it, we'll have him back on again. He's our ghost.
We'll
he's our official guest host.
Guest host, ghost.
Who's here the most, and we love it. We love having Caleb on.
Thank you, Caleb.
You're welcome.
Okay. He's blessed us with his presence. All right. Well, as we say, this has been a Bridge of Two podcast.
Oh,
Far, far away bridge.
You jumped in there.
You jumped, yeah.
Got it, yeah.
Close enough. I said a word, so we're good.
Adios.